What's going on, man? I wanted to talk about back in the day. I used to be I was a street. I was a burglar. Like that was my first hustle. You know how everybody sell a little weed, then move on to hard drugs. Man, we started out with, we used to call it running cars and shit. Like about to run in something. And we used to just walk around with our hand up our sleeve a little bit, just enough so that like our hand is covered by the sleeve, and we would just be checking car door handles and just to see if the car open, and we go up in there, ransack it real quick, be out. My best friend put me on to it. So I started doing it, then we would do it together sometime. Most of the time, we was just, you know what I mean? It was just free bands, you feel me? Like, nobody cared what car it was, where we was at, man. If your shit was unlocked, we was all up in there, like. So, like, the first couple times, we used to just take, like, GPSs and things like that. Like at the time we had iPods out, so we would take, like, you know what I mean, some people had iPods hooked up to their cars or whatever, so we would take their iPod. So it wasn't really nothing, like we ain't really never come up like that at first, like, you know what I mean, the first few times we was doing it. But there was one night when we was doing it, and we was walking around. We was in Egg Harbor City. We was walking around, and I think we got the first car. We came out my house. We stayed on Buffalo Avenue. I ain't gonna give out too much information here, but I stayed on Buffalo Avenue in Egg Harbor City by Sprague School down there. It used to be Rittenberg, used to be over there. So when you come out my backyard, that's an alleyway. Like every street's like that. It's the main street, then the alleyway. Main street, alleyway. So when you come out my back gate, you come out my back door, go through the backyard, get to the gate, open the gate, you in the alleyway. So we make a left, go up the alleyway, make a right, go up a little bit. There was a car right there. That's the first car we hit. It was unlocked. Boom. It's mad stuff in there. Like, we couldn't even, it was too much stuff to move around. We couldn't really find nothing. We found like some change, and you know what I mean. It was me, my best friend, the one that put me onto it, and then there was this other little white boy, Brandon, that we used to have with us and shit. Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't really our mans. I used to just go smoke green, play his Xbox and all that. Like, you know what I mean? They had a little bit of money back there. They stayed down there on the south side of Egg Harbor City, across the train tracks. He was with us. My mans didn't really get down with Brandon like that. Like, he ain't like that nigga, for real. So we get in that car, don't really find nothing. Boom. We go around the whole time. Now, we was out for like 2 hours just running in cars, getting change. Might find a few dollars here, might find a little GPS or something like that. We doing a lot of walking around. Like, we went all the way up there by the south side. The entire time we was walking around, my best friend kept saying, yo, we need to go back to that car. Yo, we need to go back to that car. Like, he said it mad times. Like, eventually I'm like, yo, you know what? Let's go do it, bro. Because I'm just tired of you. I'm just tired of hearing you say it. Like, he was right. Like, he had it in his gut that was the car. Like, you know what I mean? The first one we hit would have been the night ender. Like, that was crazy. We walk all the way back to the other side of Egg Harbor. Like, this wasn't even in the plans. Like, we wasn't even supposed to do this, yo. We was supposed to hit some cars, get some weed, and we was gonna shoot out to his crib over there in Galloway. So me and him get to the car. We got Brandon watching or whatever. Me and him get to the car, and as soon as I open the door, I never checked the console. Now, I mean, as soon as I open the door, boom, I get in the car. I'm like, open the console. I'm like, I see a bank envelope in there. So I'm like, oh shit. Open it, boom, close the door. I didn't even look in there yet. No, let me not lie. No, I did. I grabbed it and felt that there was something in there, and it was kind of thick. I'm like, oh shit! Like, I cracked because it was open. You know how banks don't really lick the envelope and close it. Like, they like fold it inside. Like, so it was like that. So I stick my thumb in there, pull the flap back a little bit. I see green, put it in my pocket. I'm like, yo, we out. So I'm like, Brandon like, yo, y'all get anything? I'm like, man, it was shit in there, bro. Like, I was about to say his name. So my best friend wasn't even, he didn't even know. So I start walking up a little bit, and my man's got next to me, Brandon walking behind us or whatever. And he like, yo, what you find? I'm like, yo, we gotta check, I think, bro. I took the envelope out and I start going through it. Start looking. I seen like $200 bills, mad 20s, some 10s, and hella ones. I'm like, oh shit, bro. I took a $100 bill out, handed it to my man. Shit, he like, yo. We was young. We was like 14, bro. Like, so we get back to my crib since it was right there. We try to get off the street, like, boom. So we sitting there. I'm trying to like get Brandon out the crib. Like, I ain't want him there no more. I'm like, yo, he got to get out of here so we can do our thing. Eventually we get him out. Like, yo, we did have school tomorrow and all that. We're like, man, yo, we got school tomorrow, bro. I'm like, what you about to do? I'm talking to my best friend. I'm like, yo, what you about to do? He's like, man, I'm about to go to the crib or whatever. So Brandon ends up leaving. So my man's, this nigga, as soon as Brandon went upstairs, we heard the door open and shit and close. He like, yo, what you get? I pull it out the envelope. I turn the light on, pull out the envelope, pull it out, start counting it, flipping through count it out. I split it in half with him. Boom, gave him half. He like, yo, you know what? And this at the time, we ain't really have exotic weed like that. So it was like Reggie and shit. So we like, you know what? We about to go get a QP. Like, niggas went and spent all that bread on a QP. I think we got some liquor or whatever. And we was just smoking. Like, just smoking on the E-Cab. Started drinking. Yo, we drank so much E&J that, like, and I got sick. Like, it was like, we was just so drunk, bro. Like, we got sick. And I remember the next morning, I woke up and I sat on the toilet. I had bubble guts. I'm like, damn. I had to go to school. It's like 5 in the morning. I gotta go to school and damn. Like, I sit on the toilet. As soon as I sat on the toilet, I had to throw up, yo. So I'm shitting and throwing up at the same time. So I'm just, and it just smelled like E&J, like hella strong. I'm like, damn, yo. Like, I'm in there, like, just projectile vomiting. Like, I'm just so sick. I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm about to die, yo. Like, I can't go to school like this. Like, I stayed home. Like, I told my mom, like, yo, I'm so sick. Like, she knew what it was. She had to smell it. I smelled it. It was just E&J. It was so strong. I never really drank like that. Like, oh, man, that was horrible, yo. Like, we used to always do it. I used to run cars and then go to the liquor store and, like, we'll stand around outside and try to find somebody. And then eventually, like, over time, we end up finding this dude, Tyrone, that lived out there. That nigga was crazy as hell. I think it was, like, I don't know if it was a halfway house or, like, a mental home or something like that was over there on Atlantic Avenue, but he stayed there. I got a wild story about that dude, too. Tyrone was wild. That nigga was crazy. But, yeah, Tyrone, he used to get eventually we found him, so he used to go get us the liquor or whatever. But, yeah, yo, and I remember he called me, my man called me, he like, yo, man, like, I'm throwing up and everything. I'm like, yeah, me too, bro. Like, that's exactly how he sound. Like, yo, like, he was like, nigga, I ain't even go to school today. I'm like, I started laughing a little bit. I'm like, yeah, me neither, bro. Like, I don't even know what to do right now. Like, yo, that was like one of the worst hangovers I think I've ever had, bro. Like that, it was. I had a bad hangover a couple of times, but that one right there was a little different, and I don't know why. Like I didn't know. It's like a formula. Like when you don't drink and smoke like that, there's like a way of doing it. Like you gotta smoke first, then start drinking. Don't start drinking, then smoke. Oh, and that's what we did. We was walking back when we got the dude, whoever it was out there. It wasn't Tyrone then. We ain't meet him yet, but whoever got us the liquor on our way back, because the liquor store was like some blocks. Like it was a nice walk back to the crib. So we like sipping on the way there. And then once we got to the crib, that's when we in there. Now we drink it for real. We in there twisting up. We playing Tekken. I think it was Tekken Tag Tournament or something. It was something back on PS2. I had the flat one and shit. You know what I mean? The flat PS2. That's the best system in the world too, by the way. It's a little side note, man. I'm telling you, the PS2, like, you know how they make the little mini systems now, like the mini Super Nintendo and the mini PlayStation 1. They need to make a mini PlayStation 2. And put like certain games on there for real, yo, because that was the best system ever made. But yeah, I'm telling you, that was the worst hangover ever. But we had the best times though, man. You know, I'm gonna start dropping some of these because I got wild stories from burglaries and running in cars and all that. But that was just yeah, man. I got charges from doing burglaries and everything. Like, word up. Like, I was a straight burglar. But that was the first time we hit a lick, though. That was the first lick. Like, you know what I mean? It was something small, but to us, it was big. We was 14. We ain't ever really touched no paper like that at the time. I don't even think any of us was, like, ever sold weed yet or nothing like that. I don't think. No. Damn, did I? Absolutely. I did sell weed back then. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember if I did, because I remember saying that was my first hustle, was doing that. That was my best hustle. But I don't remember if I sold weed first or was I doing burglaries and things like that first. Now I don't remember. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I want to say that I actually did start selling weed first, and then I eventually got brought into. I think it was that way. I did sell weed first, like little Reggie getting little quarters and trying to sell little dime bags and shit. Like, you know what I mean, mad seeds and sticks, and the stems used to be poking out the bag and all that. Like, yeah, back in the day, like we used to make way more bread though off drugs than like. Now it's like it's wild cheap, like, yeah, yo, it's just crazy. But I'm not glamorizing this lifestyle. I'm not telling you to go and break into everybody's stuff, because it happened to me and I didn't feel like. Now I understood the feeling and what my mother was saying when I used to be in court about these burglaries, and she used to tell me, like, you can't be stealing from people. They're working for this. They're working so hard, and you're just coming in behind and taking everything they worked so hard for, and you taking it from them. And that's a terrible feeling, and you feel violated, and you know what I'm saying? Like when you come home and your stuff is thrown all about, and somebody that came in uninvited and stole from you, like, that's one of the worst feelings. And then you start feeling unsafe and all that. Like, it's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. And I understood, because somebody also has broken into one of my houses, and also somebody has broken into my car and tried to steal my car. This car, actually. Like, this really just happened not that long ago. So, yeah. So, I knew I was wrong, but I didn't care. I was young. I didn't care. We needed money, and this is what we was doing. We didn't want. We used to look at the people that was we were around, like who the dudes was in the streets that we looked up to. So we were trying to be them, you know, and we weren't trying to work and all that. Like we was trying to just be bums, but had bums that had money. You feel me? For real, that's what, like, really what niggas was trying to do. We wasn't trying to do nothing. We start our day like 8 o'clock at night, come outside, you know what I mean, start talking about what we about to do, what lick we about to hit, you know what I mean, we about to try to do this and that shit, you feel me? Like, that's how it was. So, but that shit is corny, bro. That shit is corny. Now that I'm older and I'm understanding, that shit is corny. Jail is corny. You gonna get your ass locked up and they ain't playing no more. The time is different now. It's way more strict and you gonna do way more time. Like, just leave that shit alone, yo. Leave that shit alone. Don't even do it. Like, it was good memories for me now, and now I could tell these stories or whatever and share my experiences, but I'm sharing it only to discourage you. I don't want you to go out here and do that dumb shit I was doing for. Like, that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm not trying to glamorize and all that. I'm just trying to bring you on that experience with me. You know what I mean? We can laugh together, and you can laugh at me for being so dumb, for doing the dumb shit that I used to do. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm trying to do, man. That's it. Y'all be careful, though. It's January 16th. Today was my son's birthday, and my little cousin's daughter, you know what I mean? It was her birthday, little Zuri. So happy birthday, Zuri. Happy birthday, Xavier. Love y'all to death, man.